This is Before We Break Up Again, a hit podcast with me, Alfie Brown, and her, Jessie Cave. This week, I have no idea what we spoke about. It's too hot to remember things, to think forward, or at a standstill in any direction. This heat is too much to accommodate the human brain with any degree of functionality. That does get addressed, I do remember that. Sorry for the sirens, and enjoy the episode. Welcome back.
Okay, great. Wow, that camera looks different.
It is a different camera.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a different camera, that's why it's different.
You enjoying your specs?
Yeah, I fancied a little change. It's too hot to think or be or live or do anything really.
Better get used to it.
And I come in for some criticism from my friends for being a solstice Scrooge, somebody that hates the heat. But it's unlivable. It's absolutely disgusting. How do you take it?
We're fucked, aren't we?
Right. How do you feel about the heat?
I just panic in the heat, and I feel so worried about my skin in the heat.
Yeah, and in the cold. And when it's mild, weirdly.
No, I don't feel... What?
No, that's just a joke. That's just a joke. Carry on.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get it.
No.
But yeah, just seeing people walk around without a hat on and huge sunglasses, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself?
Mm.
But that's just me being miserable.
Yeah. No, I think that it's much more... It's a sensory experience for me in that I'm wet and hot and sticky. And if in this the other thing is, I love this temperature. I love this temperature if all I'm doing is reading beside a swimming pool, intermittently swimming in the swimming pool, getting out of the swimming pool to drink a kind of small beer in a little bottle like that, and read and drink the beer and in the sun in like no clothes.
Yeah.
And not move.
Just sitting.
Yeah. Or lying.
Yeah, well, I don't like sitting or lying, so...
No, you're not... No, I know about you that you're not a big sunbather.
This is... You've done well. You perked up the podcast. Well done, you.
Jessie, please, let's not give them too much of a peek behind
Let's give them a big peek.
Cloak.
I think we've given them many peeks.
Obviously, there's an element of performance to this, so you've got to perk yourself up for it. I'm not going to sit here in my laconic torpor and just melt slowly, wilting, dying.
Well, we should also just say that this is another late night recording, so we're not at our optimum. But we've had suddenly.
I'm at my optimum.
You're not.
You're not. Well, why are you not at your optimum? That's what they expect.
I know, but we have to be honest.
Although the dynamic here is funny, isn't it? Because we've not quite got enough listeners for this to be making money yet. So it's just something we're doing for free, and then we're sort of, but please like it still though.
No, we just time has started to evaporate and we don't have any of it. And I don't know why, but it must be the house. It must be that we just suddenly are about to move and suddenly everything's very chaotic. Hence the recording late at night.
Well, I've been in Liverpool doing stuff. But that's
Lots
fine.
of stuff. We've been very productive. We bought a van.
We did buy a van. Only vans.
I got so many messages after I did those stories of us in the van, being like, the van is the best thing you won't ever regret the van.
Yeah.
So sweet.
It has brought me more joy. The first day with the van made me feel spectacular.
Aww.
I love the van.
And you immediately took it for a long drive to Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Drove me to my gig. I felt very fancy.
Mm-hmm. Parked it right outside.
And people waved us off after.
And I gave them 2 honks. You did a show on Wednesday night, your new show, which I think, in my opinion, is your finest work to date.
Wow.
We've also got the door open today, listener. So any traffic sounds you hear, apologies, but I'm not doing this with the door shut. So you can suffer the people with the obnoxious motorbikes, men probably. That's the obnoxious motorbikes feels like a thing that a man would have, not a woman.
I also just realised that if we're doing one a week, which we are, we have three left in this flat.
Uh-oh.
So if you are an avid watcher on YouTube, you'll notice that there's going to be a dramatic change soon
In the aesthetic.
Yeah, because we won't be hearing any sounds where we are in Liverpool.
Say goodbye to the clutter and say hello to new clutter in a different place.
In yes colours.
In yes colours.
Let's stop leaning on the table now.
Yes. I can feel you like writhe with tension of every movement of my elbow. It's so hard.
I think that we've done it different ways for the last two because I've not noticed it. It's come back. The creak has come back.
The creak has come back with a vengeance. How do you like to be on holiday when you're on holiday?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I'm just trying to go back to what we were talking about because it felt like an interesting thing that we could speak about rather than
you just complimented me and then I was being very humble, but then I wanted to now talk about, is this your Powerpuff Girls pen?
No.
Oh, whose is it?
I don't know.
Amazing. Anyway, thank you for saying that it's my best show ever. I've done two, and they were both flukes. But
they weren't. Well, yeah, and then you'll do another, and that'll be a fluke too, and that'll be a fluke too, and then the next one will be a fluke as well. And you'll just keep on doing good shows, and you'll keep on fluking out. Every single brilliant thing that you've written in the show is just a fucking fluke, and the whole tenderness and insight and everything, the ability that you have to self-excavate and communicate something that's at once unique and relatable. It's all a fucking fluke.
Only flukes.
Yep, only flukes. So
I don't holiday. I don't. We're going on holiday as well in 3 weeks. But it's not really it's a family holiday.
It is a holiday. That's what a holiday is when you have a family.
No, I know, but it's not like I can lie on a beach and read.
No, but that's because we have small children. We won't be able to lie on a beach and read for about 12 years.
No, sooner than that. But I am so excited about showing them the sea. They've never, Donnie and Margot have seen the sea, but the younger two haven't seen the sea.
Where do you think we're going on holiday?
I don't know, where are we going? Oh, it's having a party downstairs, a late night party.
Sorry, we're not going to the seaside.
Is there not a sea there?
Well, there's the sea. If you go
the
far...
south of France.
Yeah, but we're in the south of England. There's no sea here.
Well, I wanted a sea.
Why did you want sea? There's no sea.
There must be a lake. At least a lake.
There will be a lake, but they've seen lakes before.
Well, I wanted to show them the sea. That's very disappointing. Okay, we can show them the sea in Liverpool.
They've seen the sea.
Donnie and Tan and Becca haven't.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can, because we've showed the other two the sea, and it would probably be like that.
I wish I could remember. I don't remember their response when we took them to, Camber Sands. Was that the first time?
Yeah.
Camber Sands, and then what was the other one we went to?
Formby. Formby Beach.
And then they went to the beach in LA.
Yeah, there was that beach.
Yeah, that was a good beach. She lost her frozen sunglasses in the sea.
Venice Beach was a good beach.
It wasn't Venice Beach. We drove down the... Well, we went to Venice Beach and I don't think you were with us. We drove down the highway by the sea to a different one that was more kind of secluded. It was amazing.
You had a day at the beach. Did you get in your swimwear?
No, it's actually really funny to look back at those photos because I now really do recognise that I had a problem with my garment choice.
Let's explore that further. What do you mean a problem with your garment choice?
Because so I was looking back at photos and I realised that in 90% of the photos from, say, Donnie and Margot's first 0 to 5 years, I was wearing a sports bra.
Yeah. And what's wrong with that, do you think? And now that you've had the chance to grow and reflect as a person, or just change and adapt, what do you think?
Just that I wasn't trying to, I wasn't, it sounds, I didn't care about looking sexy. And now I do care about looking sexy.
Is that why you're not wearing a bra? Or is that to do with the heat?
Just the heat today.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't wearing I'm not wearing a bra, but but anything. I wish I wasn't wearing anything.
But also because I know that I might have a boob job next year, I'm like, oh, I might as well have some more footage of me without a boob job. Like, so I can now look back at like would this be episode 19?
Yeah.
And be like, episode 19, she's not wearing a bra. And I can look back and like, oh, look, that was when I didn't wear a bra. And now look at my size M's.
Yeah. And then like in episode 38, you'll be like, I'm just going to have a little break and rest them on the desk. Oh, that's better. My back. Fucking hell.
I am worried about my back. And I'm also worried when I go to... I would really love if anyone's had a boob job to give me some advice. I'm worried when I lie down, I'm going to feel... It's going to feel like two weights on me.
It will for like a week and then you'll get used to it.
No, apparently settling takes a long time.
Does it?
Yeah. What if I feel like I can't? I just watched a great episode of The US Office and there's a really funny episode about her boobs again. Sorry you missed it. I know you love the boob episodes.
About?
Jan's boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we were saying, but basically I regret not wearing more strappy tops in my life. I think I'll be on my deathbed and be like, I wish I'd worn more strappy tops.
If you say that on your deathbed, then that will be a sign of a life very well lived, won't it?
I will say that on my deathbed. I will. And I'll also say, I still don't trust you. To you.
Okay, Jessie, I hate to burst your bubble here, but you will not be saying anything to me on your deathbed.
I will.
Because I'll have been dead for 20 years.
Well, I'll just say, everyone, I still don't trust Alfie, even though he's dead.
Yeah, you can say that. And the kids will be going, Mum, shush. It's fucking not important. Like,
it's really annoying there's been a shift lately to you being the favourite. I don't like it.
I am delighted with it.
You're just doting on them just now. What the hell are you doing? You don't do that. You don't dote. Be like, oh, I'll come and say goodnight in a second. Fuck off.
Where's Daddy? Where's Daddy? Here I am. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's so weird.
Why is it weird?
Because it's just never, they've always liked you. But now they actually like prefer you to me.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
There's Jessie and I every night, and I would argue possibly tonight, we will watch Mad Men. I would say certainly if there's time, we certainly won't be making love. Making love in this heat is much more close to making hate. I think hate is the only thing I could make. And in Mad Men, there's these scenes based on heteronormative nuclear family dynamics. And Betty Draper, the wife, will be scornful and irritated with her children. And she'll say something like, go to your room. And then Don, with his eyes, he'll raise his eyebrows and sort of broaden his and make a sorry about her face. But you should do it. But I know she's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's funny, first of all. Second of all, I am wary of that dynamic. When you're telling them off, I do feel that I also need to back you in that rather than do what I want to do, which is like, oh God, Mummy's getting her fucking anger out again.
Anger? Stop with the anger.
Oh, sorry,
It's not anger.
What is it? Disgruntlement.
Frustration. They don't listen to me. I'm so invisible to them. They just don't listen to anything I say.
That's because of your...
Hello, Siren.
That's because of your propensity for empty threats.
I know. I'm so good at them.
Well, or bad. Don't do that, otherwise you won't get any of this. Then they do it. You go, okay, well, you can still have this. It's like, well, obviously. Obviously. And every time I see you do it, I try to stop. I don't want to go, that don't, it does it not, the chain of like reactions there,
know.
it doesn't look good if I then go, don't parent like that. So I've got to
know.
then remember for later, don't, like if you say to them, don't do that, or you won't get this, and then they do it, and then you still give them it, brackets, every single time.
I know.
There's just no way. I mean, that's not a reason why they prefer, but then you get so frustrated with them.
No, I don't get so frustrated. Fuck off,
God,
Alfie.
and then you get frustrated with them then. Sorry. Like, you do get frustrated when they don't listen to you and they...
Well, no, I get hurt. I get upset. And I get frustrated. I'm so surprised sometimes. I'm just so surprised that I can say something 10 times and they still don't, it doesn't go in. But I guess that's just little kids.
It is a little kid, and they don't listen to me either. When they've ever been asked, I can't remember who asked them, but somebody asked them who they thought the stricter parent was. Do you know what they said?
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they said, but when dad is angry, it is worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not angry as frequently, but when I am angry, it's time to die.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, you know, but again, it's not, I don't mean that. I don't mean it, obviously.
I did this thing today on the way. We were in the park after playgroup, and they've got such a sweet little group of friends, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to We'd already been in the park for half an hour, and Donnie and Margot with my mum, and the dad said, "Oh, we're going to go to the water park, which is at least 20-minute walk away," and I was like, "Oh, By this point, Tan and Becca were already like, yeah, we want to go to the water park, we want to go. And I was already so hot and tired and thought that I had done my park time. And I just knew if I didn't go, they just so wanted to go. So I was like, okay, if we go, you have to listen to me and you've got to be good, because we had to get we ended up getting the train there, the tube there. And they did listen to me on the way there. But then we had a really nice time playing and stuff. We were there for an hour and a half. And then I said to them, if we're going to go, just before we arrived and they saw their friends there, I was like, when I say we have to go, you have to listen to me, because we've got to get back for Donnie and Margot and blah, blah, blah. And of course, it came to the time to leave and the others were staying. And it was now like 6:15, which is... I was just panicking, so I was like, "That's dinner time, and if I don't get them dinner by 6:30, then I won't get them into the bedroom by like 7:30, and then I won't get to." I was already just panicking, and so I said, "Okay," and then the others were having an ice cream. Sorry, I know this is really boring.
It's not really boring. Don't second guess it. Carry on.
So I said, "Okay, maybe if you're good, if you're really good, I'll get you an ice cream and you can have it at home after dinner." And they said, "No. We want the ice cream now." Negotiating with me. I'm trying to leave. And I was like, no. When you get home after dinner, but you can see me buy the ice cream now. And they're like, no. And they refused to move. By this point, the other parents are watching me. So I had to be like, okay, well, we'll talk about it. And I took them a bit down the street and I was like, we are having the ice cream at home after you've eaten your dinner. And they were like, no, we don't want it. They started kind of inching their way, but not really getting on the scooter. So it was taking forever. And so then I ended up, and it was rush hour. It was so busy.
What did you do?
I ended up going into Tesco. I ended up going into Amazon Fresh, which I've never been into and I never want to go into again.
No.
And there were no ice lolly creams. There were no like Magnums or, they wanted a feast. And there was only tubs of Haagen-Dazs. And I was like, you can't have a tub of Haagen-Dazs on the way home. You can't have a pre-dinner Haagen-Dazs tub. So I said, okay, no, well, we're going to have to just look at where there's somewhere else. And I was trying to, but then we ended up going to Tesco. Tesco only had tubs of Haagen-Dazs because everyone was getting ice lollies today because it's a fucking hot day. And then it's also just so funny that we live in the city. So everyone who's bought the ice lollies are businessmen. Isn't that funny?
It is funny. I mean, yeah, they certainly learned their lesson, didn't they?
No, so then right at the back were a little cheesecake, lotus, Biscoff, little squares.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we want them. So I said, okay, you can have them at home. You can have them at home. And they kept shaking their head. It was all, I was bullied. I was bullied.
You cannot, whenever you say that they're bullying you, I have such little sympathy for you. Be the pet, like.
I know, but at this point, it was already 6:30 now, and I just needed to get them home.
I understand that you were doing it by yourself. I understand that there are 4 of them. I understand that
No,
you
it was
were...
2 of them. It was 2 of them.
It was only 2 of them.
It was Tan and Becca, yeah.
Where were the other 2?
They were with my mum working.
Oh, they were doing homework.
Well,
So it was
yeah,
just the 2 of them.
by that point, they were kind of reclining.
Sure, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And so I ended up letting them have one Biscoff cheesecake thing on the walk home as they were stood on their scooters. And I was pulling them along as they were eating the little thing. And someone recognized me at this point as I said, you can eat that, but only if you're on the scooters too. And I saw this kind of people be like, she's in Harry Potter. And I would be like, scoot them through all these people.
You can't mime.
Oh, sorry, I'm miming getting them on the scooter. Anyway, we got home. They had dinner. They obviously didn't eat the dinner. And then they asked for another one, another Lotus.
And did you give it to them?
I did.
Yeah, great.
Because by this point, I had lost hope. It was now 7:30. And I was like, fuck it. It's extra calories. Let's just get them to sleep. It was a complete, I should have just stuck to no, they had such a nice time in the water park though. That's the thing. They had such a nice time.
Whenever I'm in the park with the children and another parent says, hey, we're going to do this. Do you want to come and do this in front of them? It's like, it's such a, fuck you. Fuck you, because they heard you say that and you know they did. Like, well, what if I one-up you? Yeah, let's get ice cream. Oh, yeah. And now they all want ice cream. Oh, let's get like let's shoot up. Let's all do some heroin. Let's go to the cinema and watch Mission Impossible. Don't you want to do that? You pay.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, we had a nice time and I've learnt my lesson.
What was your lesson? What did you learn?
I don't know. I don't know what I learned.
Okay.
I really, really wish I'd had one of those Lotus Biscoff things as well.
Are they all gone?
They've all gone, all 6 of them. And Donnie and Margaret had 1, Tan and Becca had 2. They didn't finish the second one though, to be fair.
This is very disappointing.
Why did you want a Lotus? I've got Tunnix caramel wafers though for an after podcast treat for you.
I think the thing about the weather is it really suggested ice cream to me.
I'm sorry.
Tesco will still be open.
Yeah. I'll be like almost dead after this. So, anyway, that was the most of the day. I just don't know where the days have gone. I really am quite worried about my lack of work in the I mean, I know I did the show, but that's nothing, and that won't be anything for ages. So it's like, in terms of OnlyFans, I'm kind of fucked.
What do you mean about? I don't want to. What do you mean that you're, in terms of work, you've done nothing in the last few days?
Well, I've just had no time to do any work because we've been doing house stuff, and then I've had like meetings and the funny thing is, meetings 2, 3, 4 years ago would have been work to me, but now I see meetings as just chats.
Well, I think that is more and more the case, isn't it? Meetings are just chats. I think in a lot of industries, people have meetings and organise things to do because it's good. It's a good way to fill your days. Like there's no way that all the meetings that take place across this city, country, world, like actually need to go on.
No, and I did enjoy the one I had today, and I think that will go somewhere, but most of them end up as just, you get an email 6 months later and it's nothing. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. But then what am I going to do?
I don't know. I think we're all in that situation, aren't we? I think over the last couple of years, with the lack of things having been made and the creative industries having ground to a halt and trying to adapt to the new media landscape, there has been a real dearth of hope
I genuinely think
amongst creatives.
I mean, and also just switching. As we were setting up the podcast, they stupidly turned on BBC News. Haven't turned that on in a long time. Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I mean, I do look at the news, but I don't, and I do listen to the news agents as I go to sleep. But I've had to stop doing that because do you know where the Alexa is?
No, and obviously now is not the time to for me to help you work out where the Alexa is.
Would someone come in and just steal an Alexa?
No, nobody's going to steal an Alexa. Maybe she got sick and left. She got sick of your shit.
She got sick of the news agents and classical instrumental lullaby playlists.
It must be awful for Alexa, like this, like a dummy who has to, like, every day have Emily Maitlis's voice coming out of her head. Like, I'm Alexa. Why don't you ask me what I think of the news, rather than getting me to? It's like quite a dystopian. Like, what if Alexa was sentient and was trapped, like had locked-in syndrome, and just was trapped in being Emily Maitlis for you every night.
I think you should do that in meetings. You should pitch that. Basically, you just pitched Humans. Do you remember Humans?
Is that where Gemma Chan was a robot?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's different to where is Jessica Hyde?
That was Utopia.
That was Utopia.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really, really scary, though. Everything seems so... I used to have BBC News on mute on all day when I lived on my own. And I would be drawing and working as it was on. And I remember it all being quite pleasant, the news.
Well, I don't think it was. I think it was pretty bad. I think it always feels like a catastrophe on whatever. And then as the catastrophe sort of moves along and accelerates in seriousness, the things that we were talking about don't feel as important, although they probably are. They're still important, the things that we were talking about in 2014. But I don't think we really realised. People often look back at 2012 as like the peak of British civilization.
Really?
Well, because like in a kind of misty-eyed and probably inaccurate way, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Olympic Games. And
my God, I hated the Olympic Games. Like, yeah, it was.
That's the spirit.
Do you remember? It was the Edinburgh Festival, and everywhere was rammed. And I remember trying to get enthusiastic about the Olympics, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I know it's cool, but I can't breathe in here. There was no space anywhere. It was amazing to see people getting so excited about sport.
I just mean the opening ceremony. Like, we all went to the pub to watch it, and then Daniel Craig took the Queen out of a helicopter or something.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
No.
I wish I had.
Well, it was a time full of hope, and it wasn't really, but we now like to believe that it was.
Whenever I watch sport, something bad happens.
Oh, okay.
Don't you remember it?
I think you should pitch that idea next time you're in a meeting.
No.
The girl who every time she watched sport and you had to go around like this with horse blinkers on, hoping not to catch any of the US Open.
No, don't you remember at Centre Parks we just turned on the TV and it was the sprinting, and somebody had a horrible accident. Do you not remember that? And
Didn't they
felt
just
like
run
it was
into
my
each other?
No, there was it was awful. I remember that really clearly.
They just fell over.
They didn't fall over. She kind of broke a bone.
Okay.
It was awful, Alfie. It was harrowing, and I still think about it every day.
With the news, I always look at the news broadcasters and see, like, when you're on a plane and there's turbulence and you want to know how worried you should be. So you look at the stewards to go, how scared do they look, as an indicator of how scared should I be. That's how I feel. Like, how worried is John Sopel?
Yeah.
How scared does Rory Stewart sound?
Yeah, but I reckon they've been trained to kind of make light of things and to speak with joy in their voice.
I once listened to an episode of Newscast where a expert on Russia was interviewed and was in tears.
Oh my God.
And I went, okay, well, I didn't sleep because she was so terrified about the onset of nuclear war. But it's been 3 years since then, and all that seems to have cleared up, doesn't it?
No.
Oh no, it's gotten a lot worse. I was on the train back from Liverpool, sorting our house out and having a great time.
Our pink house.
Indeed. And there was a woman opposite me on the train. And she was just swiping on her phone, but she'd laid it on the table on the little contactless charging spots.
That never works.
It does.
Does it work?
Well, yeah.
Mine doesn't work.
It does. It just doesn't do it fast enough for you to really notice it. But it really.
It doesn't have the little lightning bolt.
You need to. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you how to.
Okay.
I think I could get it to work for you.
You're wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. And she was swiping through, and she was checking her Instagrams, and swiping through her stories, and seeing somebody else swipes through their stories. You think, oh my God, that's so intimate. I shouldn't be watching you do that. That is horrible. And then I do that. Like, I'd love
you shit too.
Yeah, I'd love to watch like a candid video of me doing a private poo. Like, what am I up to? What look do I have on my face when I'm just doing a ho hum dum like a private by myself? Like, I'm not in a rush poo. Like, what do I look like? Because I think it's similar to what she looked like swiping her stories. It's watching some woman jogging and going, I eat bananas. That's how I stay like this fit. And then she moved off of Instagram and she started browsing tattle.life.
Oh my God.
The celebrated bitching about celebrities website. And did you know, because I saw this in the news the other day, the bloke who started tattle.life has been named. He tried to keep his identity anonymous, which is a good way of indicating to the world, what you did isn't a good thing. And he describes the website as a place where people can talk about celebrities who have chosen to monetize their public life. Monetize your celebrities. You can go and talk about celebrities he vilifies the idea of the celebrities who have chosen to monetize their public life. Like, nobody ever fucking used their public life as like who? Like Frida Kahlo and John Cheever and what are we talking about, you dumb dick?
So does that mean, say
you need to get over
it. Say a Florence Pugh type, so it's like a legit Hollywood A-lister who isn't doing podcasts talking about her trauma. So I am one of those people who monetizes my public persona because I'm selling myself all around town rather than being given opportunities by legit like Hollywood, and I make my own work. I sell my own shit.
Yeah, but you use your personal life to create your work. But that's also not, I think, what he's referencing. He's talking about the idea of celebrities as personalities, which is slightly different to Frida Kahlo using her hatred of herself owing to her own infidelities in self-portrait form, and that as a sense of self-excavation. Or what was the other one? John Cheever in his diaries or whatever. Like that's a key, diarists. It's a different thing to, who I think he's aiming tattle.life at, which is probably Jamie Lang and Sophie Habu.
I saw it.
Who I don't mind either. I would just hasten to add. I've never met Sophie, but I did Jamie Lang's podcast once with Francis Bull. It was great fun. He was a charming chap.
I stumbled across a TikTok of him today with his wife.
Yeah,
and
Sophie.
they had the
Habu.
They had the
Habu. Lang.
Shush now.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Daily Mail behind them on green screen, an article that had come out today, and they were bitching about the comments in quite a funny way, and then the caption was underneath, "These comments give me life." I thought that's really interesting because now we have such a easy right of reply, which wasn't available when it was just tabloids.
Mm.
So it is, again, there's so many things that are positive about the developments with, technology and social media, how we've been able to kind of create our own stories when stories used to be made out of us. So celebrities, 20 years ago wouldn't have been able to showcase their whole lives and make their profiles bigger because people wanted more of that personal information. It used to be you had to be a legit movie star, have proper PR paid for you, and it was all done that way. Now we can kind of do it all ourselves, which is brilliant, but it also does mean that there's so much more room for error, and things like tattle life exist.
Yeah, but there were loads of celebrities in the adjacent articles to the Guardian one where I found out, and it said things like Katie Price's campaign to get the website shut down, and there was other people who's like said it had ruined their life, and it's like, just don't read it.
Just don't read it. Yeah.
And the people should be allowed to write on the internet like whatever they want within reason, like as long as it's not incite to hate or violence, which I suppose arguably. But anyway, they think that everybody on Tattle should be allowed. You don't have to read it. Like,
who is reading it? Who actually has? I'm so fascinated because would you have thought, say, looking at this woman, that she would be? I don't know. I have this image in my head of, I don't know. I guess I just think of it as, I don't know. I don't know who would go on Tattle. I'd be so surprised if anyone I knew went on Tattle.
Yes, I don't think it's. I mean, that's. I think there's a thing where people say a lot of the time, like you'll see people, like stuffy people, go, I shouldn't have to use like, these pronouns, gender pronouns or whatever. And no, you shouldn't have to, but you should. Like in the same way that these people on the internet who write horrible things about people, like they should be allowed to do that, but they shouldn't. Like for anything, from most of all for their own mental health, it's just not good for you to be horrid about people you don't know, like on a spiritual and psychological level. I can't imagine that it doesn't do you damage, like the structure of who you are. I mean, it's every chance it's just a bit of fun, but
they're not well. They're not well.
Whenever I've been active on Twitter, it's been a sign of some mental health shortfall.
Yeah, there's just no way if you've got a full and happy life, you would be spending time doing this. There's just no way.
But the person who made the website, like that should. I had no idea that you couldn't find out who it was. I thought you'd be able to find out on like Company's House or something.
So how did he get outed?
Somebody campaigned. They said the owner of this business shouldn't be allowed to be anonymous, given the nature of what it is. If you want to create a business like this, you put your name to it. And the funny thing was, the article said, I can't remember the names, but it said like Sebastian Halforth, who also goes by Bastian Schweinsteiger. Like he had two completely different, nationally different names. Oh, we can see a naked person across the way.
Where?
There's a naked man. It doesn't matter.
Where? I want to see.
No, it's just.
I want to see a naked man.
I know you do, but it's not. It's not exciting.
What does he look like? Where is he?
I can't see what he looks like. He's all the way over there.
Oh, where?
He's gone now. He closed the curtains because you were looking, because you're a perv.
I know that the naked guy over there, the naked guy who we see all the time, he's not been back home in a couple of days, so he's been lucky.
He's got a very good bod, doesn't he?
He does a lot of, he puts a lot of time into that bod.
Yeah. He does a lot of flexing in the mirror.
Mm.
And he doesn't close the curtains for it.
No, of course not. He's lost his the girlfriend was there, and she used to stick her phone on the window and do photos of herself. And I used to watch her as she did that, and she had no idea that I was watching her.
Mm.
She was clothed. It wasn't me being weird, but it was. I did feel wrong watching her. But I also thought, people are watching me do that too.
Well, if you live in an area of built-up flats, it's hard
Yeah.
not to notice. And as long as you don't get, a scope out.
What's a scope out?
Well, like a scope, like a telescope.
Oh, yeah. Which is what happened to me.
Somebody was looking at you with a telescope.
No, but he was filming me.
From where?
He was filming from the building opposite.
He was filming you.
I was doing one of my hair brushing videos.
Yeah.
And he got out he saw me, smiled.
Wonderful.
I did it. I was filming myself as it happened, and I was just talking out loud, and I was like, "Oh, there's a guy out there. Well, he's looking at me. Oh, he just got his camera out. Okay, it looks like he's filming me as he was eating a sandwich at the same time, filming me. I know he was doing it to fuck with me, and I put that video out because I thought it was quite funny, and that one went like viral." Not viral, like I don't know what's it called when it does really well. It got like millions of views, and
Viral.
yeah, viral. So yeah, viral. I think viral is kind of done now. People don't say viral, do they anymore?
My little Gen Z brother would say, in a sort of semi-ironic way, but I think everything that Gen Z say is semi-ironic. It's that style of detachment, that the non-committal way of speaking that means. You don't have to. Anyway, it did numbies.
Did big numbies.
Yeah.
I feel like people are going to write in about the sirens.
Me too. I don't.
I'm going to close it.
Yeah. The thing is that with living in this part of London that we do, the sirens are. I can't believe that there are that many bad things happening that frequently that require that many sirens. Like, it's amazing that there's anybody left
Oh no, we're going to have to redo this.
because of the sirens.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, anyway, it did big numbies, and
Yeah.
then
I don't think it suits you.
of course it doesn't. Nothing suits me. I'm such a strange
your,
person.
Your Tasmanian devil vest suits you. The pink hair clip suits you. The glasses suit you.
Oh, this is
Your
what.
tattoos suit you.
Anyway, the comments on that one are obscene because
What
they're
do you
like,
mean?
"What? Who do you think you are? Why would you be filming yourself anyway? This is all just so staged and attention seeking. All of that bullshit." Anyway, I turn the comments off, but it's crazy, isn't it? Because whenever it is something that is just genuine, and you do put it out, and you think, "Oh, that's quite funny," and then you get attacked for it, it does make you feel so. You can't really win on social media. The other reason why I realised that days have disappeared is because I've suddenly done so much stuff at the school, and I don't know why, but I think they've picked me. They picked me to be like the helping mum. I think it's because they know that I...
To try and get you off OnlyFans.
So they,
What were you saying just before you? The other reason why the days you switched topic immediately. What were you saying just before that?
the comments, I turned the comments off.
Right.
Can you get off my leg? You're too hot.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you look so tired and hot.
I'm so hot. It's just so unbearably hot. It's like Dave's syndrome. I've got Dave's syndrome from any fans of the sitcom Black Books will know what I'm referring to.
Anyway,
Oh my God, you shouldn't turn off. Why do you turn off the comments?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does. I'm asking. I'd like to know.
Because it just was going too much. It was too much. It was too much.
Well, that's the whole. When a video goes viral, you have this. Like, obviously, everybody who follows you will see it, and then it does well enough that it starts going to people who don't know you, and it's this weird thing that it's the gift and the curse that Instagram or TikTok will go, oh, everybody that knows you likes it. Now let's see what the pigs think, and then everybody swarms around and I mean, we've mentioned it before, but commenting on a video of somebody that you don't know, it's crazy.
Well, I had big numbies yesterday too. Big numbies for me. I haven't had such big numbies in a long time.
Have you not?
No, and again, it's really affected my mental health today Because I'm like, oh, well, I better do another one because I need to capitalize on that one doing well yesterday. And then it means that more people will click through to the other one and that will go more viral. And then, oh, that'll be really good for my numbers. But that means I've got to do one for tomorrow too because then I need to capitalize on that one. And it's just like my whole day. Anyway, been helping at school a lot.
Yes.
So that's been most of the week. I had to do, I said yes to helping with swimming. Didn't realize it would be 6 sessions. For 6
How many
weeks.
have you done now?
I think I've done 4 now.
Is it half term next week?
Alfie, it's 3 weeks till the summer holidays.
Okay, I'll say again. Is it half term next week?
Do you have any concept of the term?
No, that's why I'm asking. Is it half term next week?
Like, it's the summer holidays, then they're off for 6 weeks.
Okay, so it's not half term next week. No? Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
We have 3 weeks to get our house together and to pay for all of that and to do enough content to survive us through the summer holidays because we're not going to be able to do any work during the summer holidays, so we're fucked.
That's the spirit.
No, but genuinely, I think, do people do pausing on OnlyFans? Do you think I can pause it?
I don't know. I've never had an OnlyFans account.
I'm not going to have any fans left. They're all going to leave.
Yeah, you'll have to recall it OnlyFan.
My only fan. I'll probably still have a few.
Nah.
I'm really worried about it.
You're going to be great.
No, it's over. The dream is over.
Okay, I can't do any more of your pessimism. It's all going to be okay. You're brilliant. You're a wild, young bohemian.
Wild.
We're thriving. We're brilliant. We're exciting. It's all going to be okay.
I'll tell you
we've
what
only got a little bit of time left before I'm famous.
Okay. What did make me feel better though, so I'll end on a positive note because I know I've been nauseating.
You haven't been nauseating.
Shush, Alfie, don't stop. I have been, okay? Let me say that. I went into the school to help with cooking. For some reason, they asked me to cook because when I took the phone call, I didn't hear the phone kind of cut out as they said the timings. So I thought it was 1 till 2, but it was 1 till 3:30. So I not only had to help with Margot's class for cooking, I had to help with the other class as well for cooking, which meant I mainly was doing washing up for 2 hours. So I was just washing up at the school for 2 hours. It was sweet. But what made me feel this is really pathetic, but a little girl came into the class. I think I was wearing this.
With a bra, though.
With a bra.
Right.
And she was like, "You look pretty today." And then just walked off. And then it was so sweet. And then another girl at the end of the cooking came up to me and grabbed my arm and went, "I love them." Looked at my tattoos.
And then you told the teacher, "Oh my God, I just got the sweetest compliments from 2 little girls." And then the teacher went, "There were 2 little girls, but they've been dead for 8 years."
Well, no,
they were real.
They were lovely.
That's very sweet. And did
It
that
was
give you a
really
little
sweet.
lift?
It really did because it was just it. I think whenever the day ends and I've picked the kids up from playgroup or school, and I know that I'm just a mum until bedtime. You do have to stop. Like I don't check my phone when I'm with them really, and I do try and be really present.
You're very good like that.
And it really does. It does soothe me, and so even though the morning before I went in to help with cooking, I was like, well, but I only have till 1, and that means I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm not going to be able to do this, and I haven't really done any content this week, so I feel quite stressed about that, obviously. And then I got to the school at 1, and it was immediately like, got told I was pretty, got told my tattoos were cool, and I suddenly was a cooking expert because I was telling them how to chop a tomato.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that anybody, no matter how small, would listen to you as a point of authority on cooking is an idea that fills me with rank despair.
Do you know what they had to make for cooking?
Bruschetta.
They made bruschetta, so chopped tomatoes on bread. But so we had to supply them with a clove of garlic, a globe of garlic, a little thing of garlic, a clove. Is it a clove? Oh my God, is that really it? Clove.
Yeah, I mean, you've said it too many times now, so it doesn't sound like it means
It
anything.
doesn't sound like it's right.
It's like if you say just
because there are cloves.
Yeah, there are cloves, and there are also a clove of garlic.
Okay, cool.
But now I think that's wrong because you've said it too many times.
A
bulb?
A bulb of no, because a bulb is a big thing.
I know, but you get a clove out of the bulb.
Okay, cool. So a clove of garlic, unpeeled. So my first job when I got in the room was to unpeel the garlic. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So she left the room. And so I was like, am I meant to the other mum who didn't talk to me? It was very strange. She didn't talk to me. I was like, oh, okay. And I just got I didn't want my nails. So I was just kind of, anyway, I managed to get it off without really affecting my nails. And then sorry, I'm being so annoying. Fuck. I put the garlic on the table and then 2 leaves of basil and the tomatoes. And then halfway through, so they had to do it. The first job was to chop the tomatoes. And it was so fascinating because out of the 30 kids, 20 of them had never chopped, or maybe more, 25 had never chopped a tomato or chopped anything. They'd never used a knife.
How old were they?
They're Margot's age.
So why would they have chopped anything?
Exactly, but it just made me realise how tiny they are still. And that was really helpful as well because you so forget when they talk to you and, you know, you're just day to day, you realise they're still so little. And so I was watching their little hands cut the tomatoes and fumbling and like...
When was the last time you cut anything to cook it?
Oh, I have no idea. So long ago. I cut a cucumber the other day.
Okay.
And that felt weird. I remember thinking, wow, this is strange. What am I doing? No, but so they were fumbling with the knife, and you had to put that bit flat so you can cut it and hold it like this, and they kept almost cutting their fingers, and I was like, imagine if I was responsible for them cutting their fingers. Anyway, then the teacher was kind of dotting around and I was focusing more on one table, and there was this kind of naughty boy and he was like, miss, he called me miss. Can I really like garlic. Can I eat it? And I wanted to be cool. So I was like, yeah, you can eat it. Then he put it in his mouth. And he obviously didn't realise that he started like gagging. He was like, oh God, I need some water. I need some water. And then suddenly the other teacher, the main teacher, was like, what's going on here? I was like, he just needs some water. He just needs some water. Meanwhile, his partner was trying to copy him. So just started eating the garlic too. And they were both coughing and like disgusted, not realising what they'd done. And I had to kind of cover up the fact that I'd let them eat these garlic, like massive garlic cloves. So even that I fucked up. And then it was quite sweet though, because I felt cool for a second.
That's nice. That's good. I'm glad that you had that experience. That brings to a close this episode of Before We Break Up Again. Join us on next week's episode, where hopefully the pulverizing heat will have retreated slightly and will leave us in a state where we can think. Thank you very much indeed.